My name is Mike Watson. I am with Legacy Rising Publications, formerly Freestyle Comics. I started off as an independent creator, making comic books and doing freelance. I am a graduate of the Columbus College of Art and Design in 2004, and I was an illustration major. So I have always wanted to know, that's a lie. I used to think comic books were stupid. So that was back like in the 6th grade. I thought they were dumb. And my friend convinced me that they were not. He gave me X-Men books to read, and they were amazing. So fell in love from there. So since the 6th grade, I am now 34, about to be 35. I've always wanted to do comic books, and that has been my streamlined focus. So I happened to go to this show a few years back when I started traveling to comic conventions. I graduated in 2004, so I started hitting conventions really hard after that. And I went to this one show called Space. Never heard of it before, but me and Victor, my partner at the time, we had this book that we were making called Hot Shot. And we are very loud people. We don't go anywhere quiet. It's pretty much the only reason I'm quiet this weekend and you don't hear me is because I'm getting over a cough and my throat hurts. But we went into Space, we had one table, and we kind of took it over. I asked Bob, could I make some announcements because we were doing events. We were doing raffles, we were doing giveaways, we were doing contests, and I knew nobody else would be as loud as I was and be excited about it as I would be. So Bob said, yeah, sure, go ahead, you can go on the microphone. I think he regretted it after my third announcement. So it was like a regular schedule of me yelling on the mic, saying, come over to Freestyle Comics, Victor Danvers, Mike Watson, Hot Shot, it's hot, so hot that it's hot. You know, just being a complete and utter fool. But people liked it. They were laughing at us, they were laughing with us, they were having fun, they were having a good time. And I guess just that type of energy through a convention, or that loud, energetic feel, had not been brought to a show before. And people were coming over to our table, they were reading our books, they were buying the books, they were getting commissions and stuff from us. And then, so we looked at each other like, oh, maybe there's a thing to this. Maybe there's something we can do here. And the next year at Space, we planned it. Because trust me, we went in off the top of our heads at the first time. So next time we planned it. And we got a partnership with a printing company. We got a partnership with this other company that made like these little small duffel bags. And we bought 4 tables. So we took up 4 tables at Space. One of my best friends, Victor's best friend as well, Danny came in, he took a table. So it was like the Freestyle Comics table, it was Danny's table, it was the printing company's table, it was a double back table. So we had a whole row all to ourselves. And amongst all of us, we came up with these prizes and raffles that we gave away that they donated as prize giveaways. And then it was almost like we were on the red carpet because then we do raffles or contests and people would come up and we take their pictures with the prizes, we take their picture with the company that gave the prize and then the book that they got. And it was like, whoa, people don't do this at Comic-Cons. What's happening here? They're acting like they're superstars. But we wanted to make sure that people had fun at conventions. Not just getting haggled by someone at a table just trying to simply sell you something. We were selling having a good time. We were under the impression that don't think about the money when you're going into the show. Think about giving someone an experience, because eventually that money's going to come back to you. And I know at times that can be an unrealistic expectation, but for the most part, it gave us a winning attitude. That's Victor and I ended up being dubbed the masters of self-promotion from doing those 2 things at Space, and we were loud in everything that we do. So Space is a very, very special show to me. I like to come here as much as I can every year if I can to promote and do things. And it's just kind of like when I have anything to say, Bob just looks at me and like, here, Mike, here's the microphone. Just go. So it's kind of just become a custom thing. And give me a second. All right. So this is at a show. I don't know if you guys remember Mid-Ohio Comic Con before it was bought out by Wizard. This was probably the height of Victor and I's popularity at a show. Dude, it was ridiculous. So I'm standing on tables. We had crowds of people coming over to us. That year at Mid-Ohio Comic Con was probably the last year. We gave away 60 Chipotle burritos for free. We had Amp in the building with us, giving away Amp Pops and Amp Gum, Amp shirts. We had a model, her name was Gianna Favreau. She was in there with us. We had a hip hop artist who I made characters of both of these people, Jana Fabro and Dre Fire. They were there. We had a freestyle session. We had sketch battles. I mean, we were giving away video games. We were giving away poster arts. We were giving away comic books. It was ridiculous. And that was just me and Victor reaching out and basically having the phrase, a closed mouth doesn't get fed. You can ask somebody something and 50-50 chance they're going to say yes, they're going to say no. But if you don't ask, it's going to be 100% no every time. And that's how we were able to get all the things at that con that year, was because we asked. We just, well, how can we get you to do something? Or what will it take for you to donate 60 burritos to us so we can give them away at our show? So one of the key things that you need to do, promote before the show. Make sure, I know everyone has different things that they do at the show. I know some people make toys, they make animals, they make furries, they sell shirts, comic book art, commissions, all types of things. But generally, most of these rules would apply to it. What you want to do is, when you know you're going to a show, schedule yourself out to know how much time you're going to have before that show happens. And you want to make yourself a schedule of how you're going to promote things. What do you want to do at that show? The first thing you need to examine is, how big is that show? Depending on the size of that show and how many people come to that show, that decides the effort that you put into the show. For Wizard World, and not that I'm knocking Space, but when I go to Space, all I do is I go to the Space Facebook page, my Instagram, my Facebook, and my social media to promote that I'm going to be at Space and I'm doing stuff at Space. Space is a smaller show. Space is more of a family-oriented indie time show, so I don't have to do a lot of things for promotions there because most of the people already know me there. And if you're going to find me at Space, that's because you already know about me. But when I go to Wizard World, I'm there against other artists. I'm up there against Tony Moore, co-workers like Victor Dandridge, Ren McKenzie, who are phenomenal artists, and I went to school with them. These guys are bringing out the heat. So I need to stand out when I'm in the same row as these people. So I would make trailers on my iMac. That is super easy. That is not hard at all. If you got a Mac, it will walk you through it. There's a template where you just basically drop videos and photos and you type on it and you got a 30-second trailer promoting yourself, what you're doing, what you're selling. And then you post that on Facebook. You post that on Instagram. You post a link of it to Twitter, on your website, on the convention page, on the Facebook convention page, so people see it. And that right there automatically steps your game up from everybody else. Because nobody else is doing that type of stuff. I shouldn't even be telling you stuff. This is stuff that I use for myself. I'm cheating myself. Start a commission list. Do deals. Like when you're going on Facebook and there's like 3 weeks before the show starts, say, for example, for Space, I said I have 5 slots available. I'm doing commissions. My full color commissions are normally $80. If you get on my slot list right now, pay your money, that commission will only be $40 and it'll be ready by the time you get to Space. Share on all your social media, we've already called that. Make a schedule for the sharing that you do. So anything that you decide to do at Space or anything that you do at any convention, make a schedule of how you're going to post it and how you're going to share it. Some of this stuff takes time to set up, but once it's set up, for that month that you're promoting before the show, it's already taken care of. You want to, I make a flyer generally for the things that I do. Make that flyer, but then also make a baby flyer for Instagram. So you have your Instagram flyer and then you have your flyer that you share on Facebook and Twitter. Write the title. It's 3 or 4 sentences talking about what you're doing. Write that and say that to a notepad or notebook on your computer. So all you have to do is simply copy and paste it when you post it. Facebook is really trendy since it's so popular. It sets up schedules. You can set up schedules for what you want to post and have that post in advance. So if you're going to a show, you got 3 weeks ahead, take a day, take 2 or 3 days to make all your promotional material and then set that up on Facebook to post it twice a week on the time that you want it to post. Then if you're really trendy, go into your Instagram and Twitter accounts and link them to your business or your art page on Facebook, and whatever post on Facebook automatically post on Twitter and Instagram, and it's your advertisement. So technically you're kind of cheating it by setting up a schedule on Facebook, and then that schedule automatically replicates itself on Instagram, and all you have to do is link it. Obviously, this is pretty obvious. Join the convention page. If the con sets up a page for itself on Facebook, join that page. If there's I've noticed there's cosplayers and people that are really big in the cons that set up their own event pages, but they get like 500, 600 people going to their con, going to their page saying, I'm going to that convention, I'm going to join you. Join that convention page. Do your promotional work in that page too. Hootsuite, I don't know if anybody knows what that is. All right, Hootsuite's really sweet. It's an app for your phone that you can download. It's free for up to 3 social medias. So you can go, you have to sign up online and you can download it on your phone, but you can set up Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, your Facebook pages, any 3 that you want for free. And whenever you post on one of them, you can link it to post on all of them. It costs $10 a month to use the service where you get access to like 50 of them. That's more of like a business account when you're doing like a whole lot of things and moving and shaking. Right now the free service works. All you have to do is switch out your emails. Change your profile pics and banners. Wizard provides, if you ask them for it, if they're not behind, they send you out social media kits that have a Facebook profile picture and a Facebook banner pic. Now you can use that or you can make your own, your artists, your creators. If they don't provide you one or they're taking too long to get it to you, just make your own banner. Grab their logo, get your table information, make your profile pic, put it on your Facebook page a week before you go to the show. That way, you don't even tell people where you're going. As soon as they see your profile pic, oh, you're going to be at Wizard this week? Oh, that's your table number. Now I know how to find you. Constantly let people know where you're at. All right. Post a schedule. Once you decide what you're going to do at a show. Now, I'm not saying everything that I do at a show or everything that anyone else does at a show works for everybody. You have to find your comfort zone and what you're willing to do and what works for you as a creator, as a comic book artist, as a maker, or anything like that. Post that schedule on your social media. Use your email list. If you have an email list of people that you regularly do business with, and you always are emailing them, updating them when you have new products or anything like that, use that same list to let them know, hey, I'm going to be at this convention. I'm going to be doing this at this convention. Maybe that's something that you're interested in. Type of things I would post a schedule for: book signing, the events I do, sketch-offs, contests, panels, and commission lists. Bless you. Now, something that Victor and I came up with when we first started was sketch battles. When I went to the Cleveland School of the Arts, all we did was walk around with our sketchbooks and we literally battled each other. Lunch mods, library, study hall. While we had downtime in class, we would pull out our sketchbook. Somebody would be the referee because they already knew what it was, and we asked the crowd, all right, something off the top of our head, Iron Man kicking a ball. And we'd have to draw that, no reference in our sketchbook, and it'd be timed. Then we'd have to hold it up and let the crowd decide who wins. Literally, that's all we did at our school besides go to class. So we thought it'd be entertaining to do that at a show. So when Victor, I, Ran, Rob Gant, we would go ahead and have the sketch battles, but we took it to another level. We walked around and we would invite other artists into the sketch battles with us. So we would schedule matches at different times of the day, which means these people had to come to our tables if they were interested in it to come see it. Normally it'd be Victor and me getting on top of a table, yelling at the top of our lungs, saying, hey, sketch battles, sketch battles. Or we'd run through the convention saying, sketch battles about to happen right now over a table, yada, yada, yada. And then once they saw that, they're like, I've never seen anything like this before. Or they're fighting with pencils. What is all this? And, we talked trash to each other while we were doing the sketch battles. Talked all types of trash just to entertain the crowd and keep them going. We got, and the more we did it, the more we thought, all right, how can we incorporate this to help other artists that are in it with us? So we would schedule the battles at different times, but we'd schedule it at different tables. So we'd say, hey, we're going to have the sketch battle for Rob Gant at Rob Gant's table. So that way, the people that are there get to see the type of art that Rob's working on. And if they don't like Rob's art, but they like the person he's battling, they can follow that person back to their table. And we schedule time with them. It was a whole networking chain that we were making where it's a friendly competition amongst ourselves, but we're also trying to help build each other too. Now, I know some people are quiet when it comes to shows, but to a certain degree, you need to not be quiet. I know we get commissions and things that we're working on and we kind of get lost in what we're doing at the table with our heads down and drawing and things like that. I need you all to speak up. I don't need you to be as loud as I am, but to a certain degree, I need you to find your level, your voice volume at a convention, and I need you to use it. Pick your head up, pay attention to what's going on. As much as you possibly can, speak to somebody when they're walking past. Don't speak with them with the intention to sell something, just speak to them. If you speak to them in the right tone, then they know that you're not trying to haggle with them. You're just saying, what's up, how are you doing? Welcome to the show. They may not come to the table right then and there, but they're going to come back over eventually. And if they don't, they don't. The thing is that you speak to that one person, it's like a domino effect. Somebody else is going to hear you speaking to that person. Or if you speak to that person and you start a conversation, someone else is going to hear that conversation, and they're going to get involved. they're going to see that, oh, you're not just having it just here to get the money. You actually want to spread your name and your brand and who you are. Raffle contests are really, really good. You can raffle off your art, especially if you know that people are really into it. You can have times to raffle off your art, to give out tickets. I would normally give out tickets for whatever purchase you make, or just for being for the show, you get one ticket free. Or if you want to get more tickets, then you buy Hot Shot number 5, and I'll give you 5 tickets for buying that book, and you enter into the raffle contest. Sketch battles, which we've already discussed. Freestyle sessions. Now, I know everybody doesn't do that. That's normally when I just will give out, I make these cards called Epic 21, and I give them out to the crowd, and I point at you and say, hold it up. As you hold up the card, I would freestyle off of that card, like whatever character's on that card. And I do it for a couple minutes that's just to entertain people. That's just to get people to come over to my spot and say, hey, what's that guy doing? And then once they're there, I got you. It may be 5 people that come over and pay attention. It may be 2 people that come over and pay attention. But I got attention, more attention than everybody else is on the floor right now. Drawing challenges, something I did at Wizard World. I took a 18 by 24 poster board, a bunch of Sharpie markers, and I would build up a lot of noise, get a lot of people over there, and I'd say, whatever you want me to draw, shout it out, whoever. I forgot, it was a contest. Yeah, raffle ticket. So once I pulled out that raffle ticket for the person, I said, all right, you won, what do you want me to draw? And they say, Deadpool on a unicorn. All right, I got 30 minutes, no pencils, I gotta draw Deadpool on this 18 by 24 poster on a unicorn. And they would sit there and watch me, and they would be entertained by this, and then I would give it to that person that won. So they just got a pretty cool commission, poster size, original artwork for free. And that whole time, I normally have a couple people that can work at my table. They're talking to the crowd. They're talking to the people, selling books, selling prints, telling them what we're about, where they can get our stuff. That's the whole venue. I didn't make any money off of that event, but I got people interested in the book, knowing where we're at. And some people did buy some books, but that poster, that artwork, I normally charge $80 for commission. A commission that size, I would charge like $150, but I didn't charge anything. What I got was people that liked what I was doing, more fans. A problem that I was having, because I like drawing comic book stuff, and my comic book stuff is, not that it's more dope, but it's like Batman, it's like Jim Lee and Steve Scrooge type of artwork. So that stuff doesn't really tend to gel a lot with kids, or little kids. So I needed to come up with something that would bring kids to my table right off the bat. So I made up a card game called Epic 21, and I started drawing in a more cartoon style with big heads and smaller bodies, real vibrant colors. But I also made that card game a math game. So that way, once your kids saw it, it was like, oh, those are cool, those are cartoon characters. And I tell them about it, and I'm like, oh yeah, but it's a math game that teaches you how to do addition and subtraction. Then I got your parents too, because the parents are the ones that have money. So I demoed that with the kids, and they're like, oh, this is cool, but you're learning math at the same time. So the parents would be interested, and they buy that for their kids. So the parents are the ones with the money most of the time. You draw the kid over, the kid is going to the show with their parents. That's more money towards you, that's more attention, and things like that. So you have to find little nits and find out what you can do to bring people to your table. Like, pay attention to the crowd that you're getting. How many people and what type of people are normally coming to your table without you having to say anything? What people are coming to you saying something? What people are looking at your table and just going past you? What are people looking at the 2 tables next to you and behind you? Red McKenzie, who is, like I said, he's a fantastic artist. The dude kills on prints. I love him to death. I hate sitting next to him. His prints are amazing. He will kill me day to day on a print board. But I look at his prints to see, why does his prints sell better than my prints? Why are people going to gravitate to his prints before they gravitate to my prints? And I'm taking notes and trying to make those changes to get more attention to my table. So it's not about like hating on what the person is doing. Find out what the person is doing, and you take that and you use it yourself. Alright, like this kind of goes back to the closed mouth, you don't get fed thing. Make yourself the feature. You want to be at the con, you want people to know that you stand out from everybody. Now you're not going to be able to do this at every convention. Somebody may, some people may not. But find a way to make yourself a feature. When I was walking around the Wizard World show, there's all these people with these cameras recording and doing interviews and stuff. And I saw this guy a few years ago, like they had a really nice camera, but all their stuff was being projected through all of Wizard World, like the whole floor. And I was like, man, what are you doing? I'm just interviewing people. How can I get interviewed? Oh, I ain't interviewing nobody now, let's go. Now if I would have just walked past this dude, I would have missed out on that opportunity. I got interviewed for like 5 minutes on the show, and then that whole Wizard World in Chicago, my face was on all the screens. I got about 10 people coming to my table just because of that interview. And I said, hey, I self-published my own book, Hot Shot, the character's black, and it takes place in Columbus, Ohio. And I got 10 people coming up just from that interview. And that was a great opportunity for me. Small shows, big shows, if you can find a way to get a hold of the person that's in charge of the comic book convention, ask them if you can draw the comic book poster. Are you serious? Draw the comic book poster. If you find somebody that needs a comic book poster, and sometimes I just want Motor City, I do it for free, but I get a free table at Motor City every year I do a poster. This dude that's in charge of the show promotes his rear end off. Every time I'm on Facebook, he is posting about this show. So I was like, hey dude, you need somebody to do that poster next year for you? And he's like, yeah, I do actually. So I did the poster, and my poster is plastered all over Facebook. He gets it printed, it's all over Detroit. So then when I go to the show, and people bring up the poster, like, you're the guy that drew this poster? Yes, I am. I'm the guy that drew that poster. This is my book. Don't you want to get it? Yeah, we do. They get the poster signed by me. They come over and get my books. They come over and ask me stuff. Parents bring their kids over, like, hey, my son is in the comic books, my daughter's in the books. How can she get into that? And then I'm starting this dialogue, this relationship with people because they see me as a professional because, hey, this guy's got to be professional. He's doing the Comic-Con poster. So, like I said, you may not be able to do that every show, but if there's small shows and things like that that you're going to, find out who the con guy is. See if you're con guy or con girl. Find out if you can be the person doing the flyer or the poster art. This goes back to finding your voice. Find a volume at the convention floor. I need you all to interact. Interaction is key. Even if it's as simple as taking cosplayers' pictures. Or, you see a really cute kid in a real cute costume. Take their picture and then give them a business card. Give it to your parents. Like, hey, I'm going to post it on my Facebook page. First off, I want to make sure that's okay that I post a picture of your kid on there. But if it is, I want you to be able to download that picture. Now, if they like your attitude, guess what? Chances are they're going to like your Facebook page. And then they're going to see your updates on your Facebook page. And they're going to follow you. I have a group of about 5 people that follow me to Wizard World Cleveland and Wizard World Columbus every year. Because they came over to me and they saw me drawing the big poster, and I was making jokes and doing it, and they bought a couple prints from me, and then we sat there for an hour talking about comic book stuff. I did not make one sale. Not one sale while they were there at my table for an hour. But now they follow me to every single show, and every single show they buy 5 to 10 prints from me every time they see me. Every time. They call me up for commissions. Sometimes it's not about the immediate sale. It's about the long term. It's about creating a relationship with the customer that makes them remember you. So when something comes up, they're like, man, I need somebody to do a commission. That guy Mike, he was really funny, he was really cool. Let me see how much he charges. And sometimes you can charge what you want to charge because they don't care because you were just such a nice, genuine person. And that's what's going to bring people over to your table or bring people to you later on to want to make these big purchases from you or buy things or recommend you. And so on the level playing field, again, I know everybody's art's different, but you have to find a way to be involved in your art your way. So you have to find a way to make that work. And whatever the craft is that you're selling, try to find a way. And I'm not saying it's going to work every single time, but you need to put forth that effort to try to make it work on several different levels so you can attain more people coming to your table, so you can get that conversation and dialogue going. It's very important once you get into the shows and people are starting to remember your name, starting to remember who you are, coming over to see you, create a friend network, keep that friend network, and make it last. Be a buddy to somebody that bounces off of you and you can bounce off of them. When we were at Space, the very first person that took recognition on us was Rachel Gladden, and she's in the first picture. She read our book, and I promise you, she went around the whole Space convention saying how amazing Hot Shot was. She wrote a review that week about how good our book was. Excuse me. And then she passed it on to her dad. And then her dad is very good friends with comicrelated.com, which is a very big website. It's not going on anymore. They sold the website, well no, they retired the website because it became it was so popular it became too much work for everything they were trying to do. But it was at the time when we were doing the show, it was a very popular indie website. So because we knew Rachel and she liked our work, her dad owned a comic book shop. He carried our books in his shop. Her dad knew the people with comic related read our books, loved them, did reviews on them, had us interviewed on them. And there were like shows, like 3 or 4 shows just in just in Ohio, that we would go to connected to them because they liked our stuff. Because Rachel was one person that liked it. And because she knew all these people, it was a domino effect for us. And that's how our names got bigger and bigger in the indie community. And now I can constantly go back and ask these people, saying, hey, could you guys do a review? Or could you share this with somebody? Or is there anything coming up that we can go to? Chuck Moore, who was in charge of Comic Related, one of the creators of it, he does the IndieCon, what's the DerbyCon? He does DerbyCon. And me and Chuck were really, really cool. And I did not have the money to buy the table for the show, but he knew I wanted to do the show. He held the table for me for 6 months until I had the money to buy the table. That's super nice. His table was like $150. I just had other things going on where I couldn't set the money aside for it. And he held that table for me for 6 months. Double check with me and make sure, like, hey Mike, do you still want to get the table? I was like, yes, Chuck, I'm gonna get it next week. Held the table for me, and then I was down at DerbyCon and got to sell my books. Relationships in this industry will make or break you. They are super, super important. I don't care how talented you are, or how loud you are. You're not gonna go anywhere in this industry just off of yourself. It is not about your talent, even though it should be. It's about who you know and how you're seen.
Hey, just to let you know, there is a half an hour left to get raffle tickets to help
Make a network for yourself. Constantly make yourself available for podcasts. Find podcasts. Reach out to people that are doing book reviews. Get your book in people's hands. If you got to shell out free copies for people to read this book, to talk about this book, do it. There was one conversation I got into on Facebook. I try to get into a lot of fights on Facebook so people remember my name. There's this black creators community that I'm part of, and they kind of get on my nerves because everything Marvel and DC does, if it's not colored or done right for colored people, they're upset. Black, Latino, Asian, whatever, and they're like, Marvel's not doing it right, DC's not doing it right. Guess what? Indie's been doing it for years. Everything you're complaining about with Marvel and DC, Indie's already doing it, and you can just go buy that book and be happy and read it. But you don't want to read it because Spider-Man's not in it. You don't want to pay attention to it. You don't want to go to small shows and look for it. So I'm really tired of hearing you guys complain about it. So we were going back and forth because one person was telling me, well, I need to stop buying Marvel and DC. Oh, that's not going to happen, right? That's what I grew up on. That's what I got started on. My kids are named after comic characters. I'm not going to stop buying Marvel books. I won't stop buying them when they're bad. I only buy the ones I like. But it's what started me. Why would I stop doing that? Why can't I buy indie books and mainstream books and be happy? So we were going back and forth, and she was basically saying that I should buy black creator-owned books because I'm black. I'm not doing that. I'm going to buy the creator-owned books that I feel are good. And so, again, we're going back and forth. And finally, I said, you know what? Forget it. I got 6 books. I'm going to give them to all of y'all for free. Here's a link right now. Bought my book, Hot Shot, 6 issues. Let's start one of those long threads, about 200, 300 comments that you talk about Spider-Man, Superman, and Batman. Let's talk about my book. I'll give it to you for free. All you guys read it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to give you some bullet points. Here's some of the things I think are precursing in my book. Let me know if you feel the same way. How many comments do you think I got?
1,000?
No.
2,000?
No.
10,000?
No.
12.
12? She's closer. I got 3 comments.
Dang it!
3 comments. Part of the problem is that if it's not big or, you know, what people already know, no one wants to spread the discussion about that. But I offered you 6 free books.
Yeah, that's why I thought it would be high.
That's why I thought it would be high. But that was a risk on me. It's a digital copy that I put out there and I said you guys can have this book for free just to start a discussion. But I do have people in the group that know who I am, and because I do things like that, because I'm constantly getting into arguments on Facebook, people know about my characters and they know me as a creator. So I will get messages And this one kid was like, oh man, I read Hot Shot. It's really good, but what are all its powers and stuff? And I'm like, I don't know who this kid is. I've never met him. I have no idea how he got my books, but that doesn't matter. It's the fact that I'm doing these things on social media that has a further reach than what I really think. At shows, if you can, buy Boardwalk and Park Place. Anybody play Monopoly?
Okay, come on.
Anybody? Just my adopted mom here? Okay. Well, the whole point of Monopoly is to buy up space. You gotta get, like, there's different colors, but if you get a Monopoly, which is like all the same color, your rent increases. So whenever anybody lands in there, they pretty much lost the match because they're paying you a lot of money. That's what you need to do at space, or at any show. I'm not saying do it at every single show, but pick your show. Know your finances and try to get as much space as you can and have enough product to support that though. Sometimes going in with somebody else that's a creator with you, that helps out. I think this was Mid-Ohio Comic Con too, we got a booth and we had 2 tables and then someone else had 2 tables next to us, but we were in the same network. So again, we're chiming and breathing off each other. At Space, right now, it's Luke, who's a buddy of mine, and I work with him at Legacy, and my buddy Victor at his table, but he wasn't able to make it, but we own that little block. That's our Monopoly right now. So when people come, they're coming to that L shape. They're not coming to see one table. It's like Luke and I have learned how to work together really well, the same way me and Victor does. But Luke will go into his whole spiel about what he's selling, what he has at his table, and have his conversation, and then he will find a different way every time to work in. Oh yeah, but this is my buddy Mike, and this is what he does. And when people come from the other side, I do the same thing. Depending on what products I have on my table, I'm like, oh, so what are you looking for? I'm looking for some like off the wall, not normal. Oh, Luke right here next to me. He makes all those types of books. You will love it. So it's a back and forth. Working together helps sometimes. I'm not saying do it all the time, because I know everybody doesn't have the money to do it all the time, because I don't either. But occasionally, if you can, put together a plan and try to get as much space as you can to own that row. Because if you have a whole row of just like you and what you're doing or creators, then you're not competing with anybody else. You show that you have a demand. Make the space work for you. I try to be very nitpicky about how I set up my table. You want to set up your table so the same way that when I draw on comic book panels, I want to guide your eye to what I want you to see and sell. So I want to move your eye and give you moments of rest within the product, and it also tags into how I talk and when I am selling my stuff, how to sell and when to go big and when to go little. So make sure your space is always set up to have a nice, neat look to it. Good presentation. You have the right items out in the front, the right items in the back. Again, always make sure to broadcast your appearance, whether it be on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. When you're at the show, and if you got signal, because I know some cons you don't have any phone signal, which is annoying. But if you got phone signal or you got internet, always broadcast what you're doing on your Facebook page, in that con page. Say, hey, it's 2 o'clock. In 15 minutes, we're going to be doing a book signing. 4 o'clock's coming around. We're doing our raffle sale, so please come over here in the next 10 minutes to get your raffle tickets. You may not get a whole slew of people. I don't know what your network is like or what your art is. Depending on who you are and how motivated you are, you can get a lot of people to come to your table if you have a lot of followers that are at that show. Or you're going to get 2 or 3. But guess what? Treat those 2 or 3 people like you have a lot of people at your table. They're not any less than if you had 100. This is one of my favorite pictures that I've ever taken at a show. This kid is awesome. He came up to my table. My friend's son has all my books. He is constantly talking about them at school, all the time. So when I was having this show, he came down here and brought his friends. His friend comes over, buys the first issue of my book, goes over to the corner and reads it. I see him tugging on his mom, comes back with another $5, gets the next issue, goes over to this corner and reads it. Comes back over. His friend buys him the next issue of the book, and he's sitting over there reading it, and I took that picture. By the end of the day, he had every single issue, all of them, and he was just reading each one of them back to back to back to back. And that's why I make comic books, for that reaction, because that kid reminded me when I read my first comic book, and I could not stop reading. So it's about the experience you provide. I didn't make a lot of money at this show, but I do that show every year because I always find at least 1 or 2 people like that. And even if I don't make any money off the show, there's someone that sees my art, gets my business card, and comes to me a couple weeks later asking me for a commission. So it's always should be about the experience you provide for the people at that show. Make them remember who you are. Feel like Denzel Washington. Make them remember. You gotta make sure you work your space, whether it's big, small, you got a couple tables or one table. You gotta make sure you work that space. Make sure you take priority on what are you gonna sell, what are you gonna push, what is your main product that you're pushing out. Is it gonna be the new issue of the book you're making, or is it a new toy that you design? Is it a new print that you have there? Sometimes it's as simple as just putting a new sticker on. Ren and Vic had to get on me this year. It's like, man, how long you been rolling with that rotation of prints? That same rotation of prints. I was like, probably going on 3 years with those prints. Like, man, make some new prints. Get on the schedule. Put out some new prints. You start going to these shows every year and the same shows every year and year, and the people that are supporting you and wanting to buy your stuff, they're not gonna come to you. They're gonna come to you like, oh, dude, I have all these already. You gotta refresh it. You gotta hit click. You gotta refresh yourself and find some new designs. Like right now, I have a bargain bin over at my table. 5 prints for $5. Go through that. I'm trying to get rid of all of them. I just started a new print series, which is called Disney Lantern Princesses. So I'm doing all the Disney princesses as Lantern Corps members. I've got 5 of them out right now. And I told my daughters I was going to draw them, but I'm going to draw them my way. So, but I had to make room for these prints, so now they're sitting at the top and they're all marked with new on them. So people know that. People, for some reason, subconsciously, they jump to new. To anything new, anything they have seen, if you put that on, they automatically jump to it. Make sure that when you do get customers and you do make sales, you make sure that they matter. Show them that they matter. It is as simple as taking a picture with them or taking the picture up. Every time I make the sale, I've gone up and I said, hey, can I take your picture? And they're like, really? I was like, yeah, dude, it's pretty important to me that you took your money out your pocket to give me for my art. So that's a big deal to me. And I want to remember the people that do that. So I always, as much as I can, unless I'm busy or can't keep up with it, take a picture of every single sale I have. And then I immediately post it on my Facebook page. And I give them business cards. I let them know, hey, you can look me up, Art of Mike Watson. I'm posting your picture up there so you can download it and get it. The people that follow me around to Wizard World Cleveland, Columbus, we went out to the Wizard World after party. I hung out with them, danced and everything. They're like, Mike, let me buy you a drink. I was like, you can buy me some water. I don't drink, but it's cool. And we hung out that whole night. So the next day, the picture I took with them, I put it on my art Facebook page. They came back over to my table and they were so amped that I did that. They were like, dude, that was so nice that you put that picture of all of us up on your page. To me, it's not a big deal. It's just like, I had fun with you guys. You guys support me at every show I go to. Why wouldn't I do that? It's fit for that weekend. That was like one of the best parts of my weekend was you guys coming to my table, buying a bunch of stuff, and then we went out and hung out and danced and had fun. So, show them that they matter. Make sure that you show them that you appreciate the things that they do. Even if it's just $3 they spend at your table. I don't care. They did not have to spend that $3 on you. They did not have to give you that money. Always get them involved. There's some commissions, like I do commissions for $80 in full color. And I do like 40 for pencils and like 50 for inks and stuff like that. And sometimes I'll just like, depending on the enthusiasm, like this kid right here that got this Young Titans dude, he suckered the heck out of me. He was there with his dad and he just ganged me the whole time. We were talking about comic books and stuff. He's like, yeah, I want the Teen Titans. I was like, all right, cool. And I was like, it's like 5 of them. I'm thinking the cartoon. I already told him how much it cost and everything. And he's haggling back and forth with his dad about the price because his dad said he'll give him a certain amount of money on top of his own money. So like, all right, so he's got the Teen Titans. He's sitting there and I'm about to start drawing. So I'm like Cyborg, Raven, Robin, Beast Boy, and whoever the 5th is. Starfire. And he's like, no, I'm talking about the comic book Teen Titans. The cartoon one, the real cartoon one where there's 10 members. I was like, really? 10 members? Okay. So I had to do the headshot for him. But we had sat there and talked so much and he'd haggled back and forth with me about the price. I was like, all right, I'm going to do it. I wasn't even mad at him. But I sat there and I spent like maybe 3 or 4 hours on that one print for him. But like that kid's excitement when he saw that print and like how happy his dad was because he was happy, immediately the person that was sitting there watching me draw this gave me another commission. Like just off rip from that. So sometimes you take a little bit of loss. It may not come back to you instantly, sometimes it will, but eventually it's gonna come back to you. Because again, it's all about the experience that you provide for them when they come to your table. Now, one thing that's super awesome that always helps, cosplay is beyond ridiculously popular. It is dumb popular right now. This is Jayana Fabro, and that is the costume for JFab, the character that I made of her. And this is my friend Ma'anale, she's Vigilance, and we got that costume made for her, and that's my buddy Dre Fire at the bottom, and that's the character that I designed for him. We got all these costumes made for him. Just having them stand at our table instantly gives us 200% more, much more attention. Just having them in that costume. Because parents bring them up for pictures, and you know, you got Jayana Fabro and Vigilance sitting right there, two women that are very attractive in superhero costume at the booth. I'm like, oh yeah, these are comic book characters. People come flooding. And they want to take pictures and they want to know about these characters. So if you can, if you're making characters or something like that, and you can do it, get a cosplay costume made. Have somebody model in your costume sitting at your table. But they can't be sitting down. They got to be up at your table. They got to be standing up, walking around. Give them flyers to walk around the convention floor and pass it out and say, hey, they're at table A46. Go check them out. This is their comic book character, and they have a really awesome comic book. Because when we got that Vigilance costume made, a mom was there who's part of this women's network back in Cleveland who loved the idea of having a black female superhero character. So she commissioned us to come up to Cleveland to talk at a school full of girls about superheroes. And they were so happy. They were so excited. I mean, we were taking pictures all day. Ma'anale came down there and she talked like in the Vigilance voice in front of them. I got to talk about Hotshot and Vigilance as characters and creating these characters and things like that. And then she wrote me a check to buy the whole class comic books. That's not something I planned. She already paid us to come up there. But then she wrote me another check to buy the whole class comic books because she saw how excited and enthusiastic those kids were about having these superheroes dressed up. That's all. Does anybody have any questions?
The sketch battles you mentioned, I've done that before at a comic book shop. It was like a holiday party.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't call it that though. It was like a game where people would just stand up and draw, like you mentioned. Like the one I did, they said draw Spider-Man and Ron Weasley playing Quidditch in Atlantis.
Yes.
It was fun.
Yeah, we would get all types of crazy requests like that. And we did it on donations. However much money you donated would if you added $10, it would add 20 seconds more time for us to do it. So the more money we got for it, the longer time we got, but we would max out at like 5 minutes. So we're not having people stand there the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I just came in late and I missed the part about your name and all
Oh,
that. But I heard you say you were from Columbus, Ohio.
no, I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, but I live here in Columbus.
Oh, okay.
I came down here to go to school. My name is Mike Watson.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I went to the Cleveland School of the Arts in Cleveland because my mom was very strict and she made sure I was busy doing everything else but being married. And then I got a scholarship and came down here to Columbus College Art and Design with a focus in illustration.
I used to live in Cleveland
Mhm.
years ago. That's
Yeah.
wonderful.
I don't live here anymore. I can't go back to Cleveland.
Yeah.
Love where I'm from, but not enough to stay there. Yes.
I'm a sophomore at CCD now.
Uh-huh.
I'm majoring in illustration. But like, how has CCD or like art school in general helped you in terms of like is a portfolio important involved in stuff like this or?
Portfolio is not as important for comic books. What you need to do to get a comic job is to draw sequentials. Not just pin-ups. You need to draw sequentials. Like download pages or scripts from Marvel and DC and draw those characters. If you want to work for Marvel, DC, and Image, you need to draw their characters on their scripts and submit it to them and show them. You can team up with somebody else, work on your own story or whatnot, but people want to see, anyone in this industry wants to see you drawing sequential pages. They don't care about your fancy pin-up pages. They don't care about like these big gallery drawings. They want to see that you can tell a story, that you can draw items, or even if you have unrealistic style, that you have rules and you follow your own rules, and it's all consistent.
Okay.
So storytelling is the main thing, and CCAD plays a big part in every single thing that I do. I absolutely love this school.
Okay, cool.
I want to go back there for grad school once I get things more situated and I'm able to,
Yeah.
without a drop. Hesitation at all. I love that school. And that school has so many more opportunities now than it did when I went there. So yes, I disliked some of my teachers, but a lot of them were right. And the teachers that I loved, I absolutely loved. You don't have the benefit of Steve McIntyre, my favorite teacher all the time. And I still talk to him. I still have a relationship with him. So, yes, CCAD plays a big part.
It's pretty funny they just introduced a comics major.
I know, that's why I'm so mad.
I know. It's like it goes into effect the year I plan on graduating.
Mhm.
So I'm like trying to do it, but like I don't know.
See, they also have a graduate program now that they started a few years ago too, so that's why I got excited when I saw that. And then all the labs that they have at CCAD. I hated foundation year. I don't know if you guys have foundation year to the degree that I have, that we had it. But if I didn't have foundation year, I wouldn't be able to make a lot of the choices and decisions that I made as an artist because it gave me a sample of everything. Yeah. But you should always still have your portfolio ready for other things. The one thing that I regret that I did not do at CCAD was I didn't take a minor. I wish I would have taken a minor in website and graphic design because it would have helped me for the long haul of not being able to be a comic book artist yet. And I would have been more versatile in getting funds to myself while still trying to chase after my dream.
Excuse me, what year did you go there? I was wondering.
I graduated in 2004.
My cousin taught there, but that was back in the late 90s.
Oh yeah, I didn't start there till 99.
I think he probably left about that time.
Mhm.
Ed Colston, he was an artist, not a comics artist.
That name sounds a little bit familiar.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to know anything or questions or comments? Alright. Well, thank you. I appreciate you guys coming out here and listening to me babble. Hope I didn't talk too fast. I hope everybody got everything and I hope you get to take something from it.
What's your booth number?
And W41. I'm right in the corner. I'm the guy with the big print wall.
This corner or that corner?
That corner over
Or
there.
like the entrance door, go
Mhm.
straight down, you'll hit this corner.
Adopted mom.
I want to look at the Disney princesses as the lantern.
Yeah, I got Princess Jasmine as a Jedi Sith too. Yeah, some people weren't happy that I have her standing on BB-8, but I don't give a damn. And she's a Sith. She's a bad guy.